If I were to live my whole life again, I'd still want to be a lasalista pa rin. Bayaran man ako, I will still say to you, I'd rather be green than be blue.
Good morning, guys. Now it's morning. Welcome to the Quiver Podcast. Animo Lasal. Obviously, at the end, we're gonna stay at the start this time because it's a good day. Good morning to you guys. Thank you for staying up so late. I'm Kiko, joined by Gio. Say hi.
Hi, good evening, good morning, whatever.
It doesn't matter.
Good day.
It doesn't matter. Brian.
Good day.
Good day. And Willie.
Talo Ateneo. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
We just went for
Good
it,
day.
just-
Good week. Good month. Yan ahead. When we beat Ateneo. So, if you're listening for the first time, this is the Quiver Podcast. We're a LaSalle fan podcast, talking about the different LaSalle sports, especially men's basketball. We're here on this podcast. So, welcome to the show tonight. Today, we'll be talking about LaSalle's big win. Is it still a big win, guys, over Ateneo? To go 3-0, we put Ateneo in 0-3. Gio, first to you. How was your ride back from MOA? I know it was raining, it was tough. But was it worth it, given the way we won today?
I think beating Ateneo is always worth it. It's always it's a team you wanna beat, and um, it's one of those you throw the stats out of the window talaga. And that was actually the story of our first half. Diba na you throw the stats out of the window. It was a 4-point lead by the end of the first half. Um, but beating Ateneo is still beating Ateneo. Regardless if it's 30 or 1, it's still a win. So, syempre, we just put additional pressure on ourselves. But the reality is, it's only the third game of the season. So, we're getting our grip there. We'll have to eventually we'll eventually peak at the right time. But a win is a win,
Hopefully.
and it's a good drive.
Like you
for
said,
sure.
Gio, we're only playing one quarter a game, but
Well,
looks of it so
one
far.
quarter a game right now. By the way, against NU, we basically played the last 5 minutes of the fourth. Against Ateneo, we played the third quarter lang. That's against UST. I think we only played the second quarter.
So we haven't played the full game yet, technically, this season. We'll finally. And on the way back, Gio, you said you ran into 2 accidents. Car accidents on the way home. Ilan doon natin nista?
At least one.
At least one. Was it in a parking incident?
No, it was along EDSA. Tapos tumayo yung guy. Tapos naka-Pilipinas Ateneo shirt. I'm like, he's taking-
Yan.
Figures. He's having a bad day.
they got from bad to work.
Yeah. Well,
Hindi ka na
just
binustahan ng Hindi ka na binustahan.
Brian, going to this game, we were saying, diba, when it's rivalry games, sometimes you throw stats out the window, anything can happen. Because on paper, we were the better team. Better coach, that's debatable. But we were definitely the more talented team. We were 2-0. I think I was struggling at 0-2. What was the scenario that at Ateneo you could see Ateneo beating us, and did you see signs that in that first half during the close first half?
I think we were all lamenting how we're throwing away possession so easily. Nagmukhang dikit kasi we afforded Ateneo 17 points off turnovers from the 22 we had in the game. I think in the first half at least 10. I don't want to come back to the number now, pero it felt like that. And every time Ateneo will come back, they will feed from our turnovers. So parang iniisip ko, if we won't win this game, we'll obviously beat ourselves. I mean, syempre Ateneo will do what they will be presented to pag ganun. Pero iniisip ko, there's no way we will lose if we can keep our act together. And I think in the third, at least, we managed that. And we also forced them to committing turnovers. So we flipped the script, at least in that 10 minutes. And that was enough for us to at least stamp our class against them.
Willie, in that first half, like Brian was saying, it was the De La Salle Green Archers versus the Tuano Blue Eagles, diba? Personal favorite of yours. He was doing it for Ateneo. We're at any point worried that this game could get out of hand.
Ako siguro it was at that second quarter, no, that horrible second quarter. If I'm not mistaken, that was when we were really piling up the turnovers and yung mga ibang fouls. Uh, Lalo na the closing few minutes of the second where Ateneo actually managed to tie the game at 40 all. It was at this
Mm.
point na talagang naisip ko talaga, at least kami ng dad ko, we were watching it online on streaming. As in, sabay kami nagputang ina. Napaka-solid
Uh,
ng mura
I
namin.
cannot share the messages that were going between me and Gio at that time. Baka, Owen Kanda ka ba, Gio, sa Green Hills dati? Owen Kanda ka ba?
I do not want to comment on that right now.
Okay, basta baka bawian yung mga Owen Kandak namin kung meron kami. But yeah, that sequence of stuff. But we scored
Yeah,
those
that's
4
true.
points at the end, Wilry, diba? To make sure we
buti
had
na
that
lang
cushion.
din, at least, buti na lang din as Ateneo was gaining the confidence and the momentum was shifting. At least kahit paano we were able to somehow give us a semblance of we were able to break that by shifting a bit of the momentum back with that Mike Phillips sequence, no, heading into the half. So okay naman. At least we were able to. Brian mentioned this earlier when we were talking. At least it was more than it was a 2 possession game at that point naman. So
Oo.
it was at least it was good for us heading into the half. Yun lang
The one
talaga,
thing-
that second quarter was bad.
That one thing you don't want to give to underdog teams is that confidence, diba? Na we'll stay in the game, and pull it out in the end. One comment from Gary Razon, who's reply on our post on the Take Aim page. He's replying to Kisan Brion saying, actually, it's more of sobrang gigil than anything else. The boys wanted the repeat massacre they did on them during the preseason. Well, it came close, so I'm happy. Gio, do you agree that was it gigil in that first half? Or Ateneo had threw a different number of defensive schemes at us. I thought it was a 1-3-1 zone. It was actually a box and one trying to control KQ. What do you think Ateneo did right, or was it the giggle that Gary was talking about?
I think like dissecting it into a couple of ways. There was definitely some giggle factor there, but I would say na parang maybe KQ played a little too much barangay games and the team has accepted na ganun talaga siya. No, but what I mean by that is like Ateneo is known really for switching its defensive schemes, and that's not something that we shouldn't be used to. Like it's something we're used to for that matter. But that being said, I think our team tried too much to get the ball into certain spots and forgetting that they were playing very good defense on Kevin. Like they admitted it after the game that they focused on him. They played the box and one. I saw Quintevis and any Ateneo player was all over Kevin, and he was not able to facilitate any of our plays during the first half. And that was the big difference in the second half. When, if you noticed, Kevin started to move a little bit away, and they were like, "Sige, let's not give him that much touches anymore, and let Makalalag and David come in and dictate plays for us." And then all of a sudden, we turned the switch. So I think they tried to play through their plays, but credit to Ateneo's defense. And eventually, credit to Coach Topix adjusting for us to build a big lead in the third quarter.
Brian, now let's flip the page to the second half in the Mason Amos Derby. Diba? We have one comment from Jonas Reyes on the Quiver page. We asked diba, what changed in the second half. He goes, parang wala eh. Siguro nag-usap lang yung players sa locker room. Ano pare G? Tapos ayun na. So, it did feel that way. Parang, oy, medyo dikit na. So, did how it feel? Another comment here from Francis Luis Pesigan. DLSU's defense at third won them the game. Also, their hustle and effort and rebounds really fueled their offense. So what flipped the switch? I think it scored only 4 points in that quarter. It was a throwback to the old Franz Pamare and Norman Black days where we would really kill them in the third quarter, coming out halftime. What did you see adjustments LaSalle did earlier?
I think nabanggit niya din isang comment from Francis. If tama yung nasasabi mo. Yung hustle and effort. I looked at yung highlights just to count ilang points tayo from second chance points, and I think we had 8 points. Yun yung sure ako na put back ka. Baka kasi meron pa yung recycled possessions that we scored 15 and that 8 na sure akong putbacks were already more than half. So I think you have to credit that hustle. And then not just that, na manifestation ng hustle, also yung defending. To think na Ateneo scored out of the 4 points, yung isa din basket dun was a goaltend goal pa.
Yes.
They only saw one basket na that went down the ring. So for us to have that defensive tenacity, that will bode well kasi 15 points in a quarter, if titingnan mo lang siya, if magtanong yung mga tao, baba naman ng score ng LaSalle, who typically score 20 points per quarter from what we observed. But it shows also that we don't have to score that many if our defense is capable of limiting our opponents.
Do you think, is it a point of future concern, Brian, going back to what Gio was saying earlier, we play one quarter a game, that we tend to rely that we know that we can flip on a switch at any time, diba? Is it a point of concern instead of playing consistent basketball, or you think the team has enough, to pick their spots and turn on that switch, to be turned on in Willie's terms when they need to?
Masasabi lang natin if we face a genuine contender, well, some would say NU yun. And it's early days, but I think matatest tayo dito in the coming games, mga 6 to 10 games natin yung stretch na yun. Kasi dyan talaga lalabas na other teams have already adjusted as well. Ngayon kasi it's hard to overread the situation for me. So let's wait how they really pick it up. Other players are still getting used to the limelight and to the system. For example, Alex Conov, we haven't really been seeing much of him. But we know that when he gets adjusted to the system and to the way it is played in the UAP, the expectation of the crowd, then we can expect big things from him. The good thing about our lineup is, for example, Mike Phillips went scoreless against Adamson, but he scored 13 points and also delivered his usual rebounding contributions. And then you have players like Joshua David, EJ Galena, who don't score much on every game, pero they have spurts. So we have a lot of players who we can count on. Okay lang na mag-off night isa sa kanila or dalawa sa kanila every now and then, as long as we know that there are also 2 or 3 individuals that will rise up to the occasion, aside from KQ, because we all know that KQ's contributions, binibilang na yan ng mga kalaban even. So it's about doing the limitation sa kanya. But what we like kanina, I guess, at least ako I can say, is we saw everyone contribute in their own way. And even, let's say, Konov and Rubico wouldn't really score. They still did the job that was asked for them in the limited time they saw. So that's something that I'd like to highlight muna rather than the switch. Although, yes, if we still see less improvement come those 6 to 10 games I mentioned kanina, then yes, that will be a concern by then.
But I guess it really shows our depth, Brian, right? In terms of key contributors in different games, anyone can stop. Voris had a rough first half, but EJ Goliena stepped up. Ramiro made big shots. Josh David made big shots. Willie, one aspect of our game we've always counted on is our rebounds. Sa atin, okay na maging rebound. The team showed that earlier. What can you say about controlling the boards against Ateneo? Because even when we were trying that first half, Ateneo couldn't get those ball off the boards.
Ako naman personally, ayoko maging rebound kasi ang sama ng...
Tama naman. Oh.
Pero syempre pag basketball, gustong-gusto natin yung mga rebounds.
Rebound, di ba?
Rebound lang talaga, oo. Ako naman, Personally, from what I was able to watch, okay naman. Lalo na in the second half, I believe na that's where we really was able to stamp our class on them. Siguro in the first half, there were some, I'm not sure, hindi naman siguro lapses, but some occasions din na Ateneo was able to keep in pace with yung rebounding natin. Pero yun nga, second half, we were able to assert ourselves more. Also help siguro, napansin ko din na I think nung third quarter na yun, mukhang pagod na at medyo napapagod na rin yung Ateneo. I think coming from yung first half nila na talagang they really tried to keep in pace with Lasal, nag-all out sila. So in the third quarter, it kind of showed. But yung shot selection nila, actually, even sa shot selection nila, they were getting very good looks, pero it's either malas na lang din talaga or pagod na rin talaga. So at that point, I would say na, you know, we were able to take advantage and really out-hustle them to grab yung mga points din. And si Brian mentioned earlier, second chance points. I was able to glance quickly dito. We got 17
Yeah.
actually. 17 to Ateneo 7. So, ayun,
Yeah.
at least now we were able to capitalize.
Yeah,
Gusto
that
ko
was
magdagdag sa sinabi ni Willie.
Yeah.
Ano to? Just about Ateneo running out of steam in the second half. It's not the first time we've seen it this season then, ano? We've also
Yeah.
seen them in the other two games. So parang, okay, from
Yep,
our
second half.
perspective,
They fade in the second half against UP, against UST, diba?
UST.
Yeah, your good point.
So
Good point.
parang tingin ko for us, ayoko siya gamiting barometer itong performance natin against them. Like obviously, it's nice to win. Pero yun, I think we will face tougher tasks ahead. And not to kasi syempre Ateneo, I would like to on their behalf to mellow down whatever they're feeling right now. Feeling ko di pa rin nila alam yung ano nila, yung team nila and also they're missing Chris Boone. So they can throw out all the excuses in the book. We will like to hear that basta talo sila. Pero tingin ko for us, I don't want to draw too much about is kasi pwedeng nag-benefit lang din tayo sa weaknesses nila, which I think I wouldn't mind, of course, if it's an Ateneo game, pero hindi siya indicative of what we'll see down the line when we challenge for the title.
Yeah.
Pero singit ko na rin
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
singit ko na rin to what you said about that. Like, this actually gives me like a reverse deja vu situation. Like, and this is probably more of like a credit towards Ateneo rather than to us, right? But there was a time when we were gassed by the end of the first half. Kasi yung Ateneo just passed the ball around and Ange Kwame or whoever was there would pick us apart slowly by slowly. And I think that's the sign of a championship team, right? To be able to pick when they will go all out. We don't need to go all out against any team on the third game of the season. Like, as long as we can win, we can come out with a win. That's probably more important than playing better, because playing better is more important in game 16 or 15 or the latter parts.
Speaking at the right time.
Yeah.
Gia, since we can stay on this topic about Ateneo, we've seen they're 0-3, but we've seen this from Tab. Remember that 30 team that made the finals against Ben and Chiron?
Yeah.
They that first year that team didn't look like anything like a contender in that first half. They kicked up in the second half. Ateneo, there's not themselves. They're getting free throws but missing them. What alternate universe is this? Do you think? Are you right? Is it too early to write off Ateneo, or are you saying, it'll be a long shot for the Final Four at this point?
I think it would be more difficult now. They're 0-3. The last time they were 0-3 was during the Boca Rasol era, and I don't think they've ever gone
Happy
0-3.
days. Happy days.
I don't think they've ever gone 0-3 with Tab, right? And this gives them like a very small margin for error moving forward, and that means that the teams they will have to beat the other teams and hope that makakarambulan sa baba, because I think that the top 3 teams are, how do I say this without making a mistake. I think that that the fourth seed might be the one that will give
Medyo
people the chance.
open
Yeah,
season yung for the fourth seed. You're
the
saying,
open season
yeah.
for this. So that's how that's probably where they're gonna play. Pero yun nga, Lasalle's gonna be 8, so that's a problem.
Oh, yeah, based on your predictions nga. Yeah.
We'll end up 3, so I don't know. Yeah.
Brian, we're always talking about how LaSalle is the better team. That for to beat Tab system, you have to overcome them with talent. Do you think that's still true, or there's something that teams are learning now to how to counter Tab system, even out the talent? Although LaSalle's team obviously is more talented than Ateneo team on paper, right?
I think the system can only work if it has a set of players that can execute the system properly. And even if Tav has the finest system in the world, if he doesn't have the enough players to execute that system, wala eh. Wala pupuntahan. Parang you can have the most intricate blueprints on your files. Tapos, pag hindi naman siya magawa ng players mo, wala rin kayo mapupuntahan. Unlike, let's say, in LaSalle, it's not just talent, I would say, by what we saw kanina. You also saw players who are willing to crash the boards, fight for loose balls, even commit a lot of fouls, which actually, ito lang yung game na parang halos lahat ng quarters nag-penalty tayo eh. The previous games, parang
Well,
we hit
to be
penalty
fair,
once.
Brian, Ateneo kalaban, so we start in the penalty by rule. I think so. Ano yun? So,
Mm,
so baka outlier yun. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah. Let's see by Rui pag bumaba ulit alam na.
Alam na. we've seen this for 30 years. Alam na natin.
Yan. So, going back to what I was saying, parang the system is a good way to set a direction for a program, but you also need individuals. You also need people who will execute that plan. Kasi hindi naman si Coach Tab yun nandun sa court. Eh. Like, obviously, he would be a good chief to a competent staff of players. But Ateneo is not yet there, and I think they're also admitting that maybe not, not downplaying it as they should. Parang sinasabi pa din nila, I mean, syempre, you have to back yourself up. But for us, we have players who have good basketball IQs, who have players who are willing to play for LaSalle, as in willing to play for Coach Topex, willing to play for the community, and we show that, we appreciate that, and actually ito yung magandang nakikita natin now eh, kasi I think what we have is a set of players na talagang all out sa court, not because of their personal glory, but because they want to win. For example, Mike Phillips, when he went scoreless against Adamson, I think makapapinsin lang yun ng mga tao na nagtitingin ng stat sheet eh, but if you saw the game, his contributions there were invaluable. And the same with other players now. Like, let's say, Abadam, Ramiro, Agunane, Marasigan.
Oh, yeah.
You'll just see, they only have 2 to 6 points on the stat sheet. Pero yung contributions nila on defense, making it tough for the opponents to score against us, which everyone who played in the third quarter showed. Hindi siya makikita on paper. It's something that you have to gauge by the eye test. And yeah, I like what I see so far. And ito yung tipong culture setting na alam naman natin na may expect natin under Coach Lopez. And may it just grow bigger and bigger, stronger as it can go on. We don't know how long it will last, but while it's lasting, I'm enjoying it, I would say.
Yeah. And this team is still learning. Eh. What you can see, like Gio was pointing out earlier, like si Dungo tried to ask Henry to set a screen for him, Gio. And what happened there? Like he didn't set the screen for him, right?
He did not set a screen. I don't think I don't know what he was thinking about. Pero
Baka tinagalog ni Dungo. Kaya hindi na
dapat
Kaya pala.
you speak it in English.
No, pero like yun nga, to Brian's point, right? Like that's not even like a normal play. Like in any basketball scenario where with less than 24 seconds to go, you kill the clock and the center always comes out to provide the screen, diba? So yun imagine na disappoint ako nung end of third quarter kasi we could have but we ended up with another bad play there. But these are things that the players will learn over time. And I have to remind the community and maybe in general that last year we only figured things out after the TUE game in UST. But
Correct.
what I will say though is makalalag is a player. Like
Yeah.
the guy the guy has been so consistent for us. Like parang nung medyo magulo yung point guard, natuto siya maging point guard. He drives, he shoots,
Yeah.
he makes
Gives
the
energy. Diba? All
I
around
think
player.
he's been the hero for us over the last 3 games.
So we can go to this next um if we can go to this next segment, we can talk about Gio. If you have one player who had a stock rising or a stock falling in this game, who are those players?
I think stock rising is. I don't think I have anyone as stock falling. It's only the third
Yeah.
game of the team.
Yeah.
But stock rising has got to be Makalalag for sure. I think he's gonna become like one of the big leaders of the team moving forward, and he does make the right play. Another one who's rising is Boris Matasigan. One of the things that I asked myself around the fourth quarter, nung lamang na tayo, was when CJ comes back, whose minutes gets hit?
Yeah. Good question. Good problem to have. Diba?
Yeah. And I'm like, would it be Boris? Would it be Dungo? Alam mo yun? And I and or would it be someone else? So hindi ko pa alam yung sagot doon. Um I also think actually I'll give you a third one. I think Rubico's stock is rising.
Really?
Uh, he played like he played like a few minutes lang kanina, and he also played a few minutes. But every time he comes in, he does the right things. Like he doesn't make mistakes. He even hit the 3 pointer against UST in the last game, and that's actually what you want from a first year player, diba? You want someone who just comes in and doesn't make mistakes, and that's exactly what Boris Tumo are doing very well. But they're also like 3-way players that are threats, and I think if Rubico continues to come in and play solid minutes, he may not hit the rotation now, but for sure in the future, like it's a really good training ground for him.
Yeah. Brian, how about you? Stock rising or any someone stock falling?
Stock rising. I would say Raven Gonzalez. If his stock wasn't that high to some people, it should be now. Yeah, 7 points lang, and then maybe 3 rebounds. But it's the way he makes the plays. Pagka nasa ilalim siya, he knows how to position himself, both on offense and defense. He's a reliable cog kasi yun nga, we cannot have Phillips and Agonane all the time. And even if we have mobile forwards as well, siya yung bridge to those two types of players. He can be someone that has a perimeter range, can also go to the basket, show up at the right time, makita siya ni KQ, then he can score. Tipong ganon. He showed it in this game na he's someone that can be called upon. And then, isa ko pang iniisip na, sabihin ko lang Rice falling. Rice falling. Stock is falling. si Lian Ramiro, I think for him to be a good player for us, he might have to start. But I understood na Coach Topex held back na start siya kanina kasi at first Lasal Ateneo game, maybe he might get overwhelmed by the
Yeah.
occasion. So he went with this with his players na nakapaglaro na ng ganitong game. But I do think if he gets to start against teams that are not yung fanfare hindi ganito kalaki, because arguably Lasal Ateneo has the biggest fanfare in all of our games in the elimination round. So let's say give him the UE in a few games, he starts there, then he'd perform well enough to contribute. But I didn't think he was too bad. I think nag-fall lang yung stock niya kasi compared to the first two games against NU and Adamson, his presence wasn't felt that much. And others, I think, hindi ako sure kung fans natin sila or casual observers or maybe fans natin. Parang natutuwa sila when they saw Ramiro kanina. Kasi parang they weren't that confident na he will, parang madali siyang siya yung weak link. Ganun yung implication ng mga statements sila kanina, whether for it or against it sila. Parang yun yung lumalabas. So, siya lang yung player na tingin ko stock is falling at the moment, but it's not too low. Right? Siguro yun lang yung trend.
Yeah. When you're 3-0, stocks don't go that low to start season. Willie, I'll throw you a curveball for stock rising. Louis Peralta gave us this comment and just let us know if you agree. King Archer of the game, Sean Quintevis.
Masasagot ko talaga yan. I think man yun, I can answer for Vic. Feeling ko, naramdaman ko eh. Alam mo yun, yung may aha moment ako na feeling ko may psychic connection kami ni Vic.
It's like you got ESPN or something nga daw, di ba?
Oo eh. Ano yan? Ito, feeling ko talaga if Vic was here, ang masasabi niya is sobrang liability niya talaga. Feeling ko talaga sasabihin, sobrang liability. And I quote, ad verbatim, kasi ganun ako ka-confident na kilala ko si Vic eh. Feeling ko talaga. Ang sasabihin ni Vic, nilagay siya to defend Kevin, hindi niya nagawa ang trabaho niya.
Mahirap yun. Mahirap yun. Mahirap yun, to be fair.
Pero understandable naman eh, no? That's defense. Pero, hindi mo na ka nagawa on defense. Tapos on offense, grabe, hindi pa siya halos tumitira. Ako, mahilig ako tumira eh. Pero siya, parang ayaw niya na talaga eh. Hindi ko mas makakagawa pa ako kung nandun ako eh.
2 attempts, 0 made.
Kaya yun talaga. Yun yung feeling ko sasabihin ni Vic.
Then Willie, after the Mason Amos transfer, stock rising on a 2-1 transfer to LaSalle, I think he fits right in.
Ako, feeling ko talaga, Mason, stock rising. Have you seen the crowd? Like that one time na the camera focused on Mason, ayun pa rin eh, stock rising.
High blood rising yon.
High blood rising.
That's the one of the free throws.
0 out of 6.
Fits right in eh. Come on.
Sean Tuanyo, ano yun, I'm calling you out. Pwede ka pa lumipat sa amin. Bagay na bagay ka.
Kahit 1 year ka lang makakalaro, okay na yun.
Okay na yun.
Kung magka end of the world scenario, tanongin mga demonyo something, lista ka ba o hindi? The way to discover consistency is to make sure if they can make their free throws or not. Diba? Fault talaga I think it's fault ng mga PE natin yan eh. Kasi pag PE, diba, walang free throw. Labas. Diba? Ganon. Labas. Yun sa fault. Gio, final thoughts on the game. I have one more question for Brian about the game, but not as connected to the basketball on the court.
Final thoughts? I thought our gamesmanship was good. I think as a fan, I'm obviously, and I think I'll echo a lot of what a lot of the fans would say. We're a little bit disappointed by beating them only by 14.
We're spoiled, no?
Spoiled. A little bit spoiled. Pero I'm just here to tell all the Archers fans, guys, it's a win. It's the third game of the season. The players are getting better. The players are slowly gelling and figuring out the system of coach. Remember, there's like 7 rookies on this team. Alam mo yun? And like, it's gonna take time. And winning is what matters. And going up and showing up in the third quarter and turning on the switch and just coming in and beating them is probably more than good enough. But we know that the team can be better, and I would expect a little bit more come second half of the season, when not only when opponents have figured us out already or know how to play against us, but also when we know how to play against them and we have enough experience. So, but ultimately, like, it was still a good win for the Archers, almost academic like. Gave them a few points in garbage time towards the end, but
you're welcome.
Yeah.
You will.
But more importantly, they had 29 free throw attempts. We had 17. So,
and still won by 4. Still won by 13.
Still won by a quite substantial number. So it's still good. Even if they made all their attempts, I think panalo pa rin tayo.
Diba?
By 1 point.
By 1 point. I guess it goes to show you that when you're the defending champions, where you have aspirations for a championship, it's not that just you win games, it's how you win games. I think that's what people are looking at. So the standard really goes up in fans' eyes. Diba?
Yeah, and also it just goes to show how hard it is na tambakin yung arch rival mo. I don't think natambakan tayo ng malupit na Ateneo. And like, no matter how bad we've played, I don't think natambakan tayo ng malupit eh. So it's tough.
Yeah. Okay. Now looking away the other aspects of the game, Brian. Fun fact: it's the first ever green versus blue, where both teams wore their dark jerseys. So again, it's a new rule from the UAP where they say, "Hey, as long as the contrast is fine between colors, I guess walang offended na colorblind people like me. What'd you make of this green? Like you can wear dark colors, and that's was the first one to opt for that rule. I think you're wearing blue, you opt to wear our green. Dahil nanalo, baka sabihin ng ibang school, magreklamo na yan, bawal yan, di ba? Knowing other schools.
Oo, kinakabahan niya ako eh. Baka mamaya sabihin nila, ineligible yung result.
Yung jersey. Or if we lose, yun yung malas and it'll never happen again. But did you like this move? Do you think it's something we'll see more often now?
Let's see if it's something we'll see more often. Depends on how teams work with it. Pero ako, I like it. I mean, as someone who follows football a lot, as you can see with the scarves here, maganda siya eh. As in, basta walang contrast. We even see sometimes teams play na same shades, I mean same color, different shades of blue. For example, Man City and Chelsea. Sometimes, for context, Man City's blue is light and Chelsea is the royal kind. So, pwede nga rin ma-explore yan if Adamson and Ateneo or NU Ateneo play each other. I think there's enough distinction for that. And at least sa players, ewan ko lang kasi yung TV aspect. Yun yung mahirap. But I would always say, as long as the players are not bothered by it, it should be okay. If yung fans, tricky eh, diba? Kasi at the end of the day, hindi naman, parang siya eh, kung ano lang yung makuha natin na spectators. It's not something that they'll totally adjust for us now. Tingin ko sa players yun. So, in our case, I don't think we can do the same to UP because the kind of green we have now and the maroon they have.
It's a dark shade, yeah.
And then FEU, I think hindi ko pa yata sila nakita na nag-dark color this season. But as far as I know, dark din green na lang. Although last year,
probably
green sila, diba? Yung medyo light green. So, I don't really know. And then, what else? The Adamson and NU games, I don't think we'll see the same kasi dark din nga yung blue nila as I mentioned earlier. But let's say UST Lasal, why not have a yellow and green, diba? I mean, we like a show of colors. Sabi nga ni Coach Lopez, they like to show the true colors of the school, which is green. Although white is also a color, pero syempre, diba? So people watch the games, they usually wear green rather than white. Parang it's an identity thing. And as long as walang clash, I'm for it.
Yeah. Okay. Willie, moving away from the game, bigger picture, the UAP and probably the broadcaster has moved some of the games to later time slots, prime time slots. First game usually starts 3:30, 4:30. Prime time game 6:30, but usually starts 7:30. So games now, like say the Geo and the rest, they came home late. Are you okay with this move? Because personally, I like the prime time move. It makes sense. I always thought it was stupid to play games at 2:00 and 4:00 on a weekday. Weekends are different. Weekends fine, you can play in 2, but 2 and 4 to a league catering to both students and alumni. So making sure they miss work or miss class, diba? It doesn't make sense. But now we see like games are ending later. Is this something you're okay with? Or there's something the UAP has to adjust to how they do their scheduling, to be more prompt with their time?
Ako personally, I agree. I like this more prime time focused scheduling when it works. Siguro personally, it works out for me since I can still catch a game if it's in Araneta, lalo na if we're at the prime time spot na 6:30. I can really
no need to lie to the boss.
Oh, no need to lie. Hindi ko na pwede sabihin na boss, mag-field nang muna ako dito banda sa QC.
Or yung may LBM ka from September from diba, August until November. May LBM ka every Wednesday, diba? Ano yung pwede ganun?
I mean, for me, yeah, I agree. I like this move. Pero, we haven't had a game, actually, we haven't had a 4 p.m. and 6:30 p.m. game start on time.
That's the issue.
that's the issue talaga. It always starts around 30 to 40 minutes later, which I guess it impacts more sa 6:30 games kasi ano ba, one, the games end at around what 9 p.m. Pasara na rin yung mga restaurants, mga food stalls in the venues. Wala na sila. Good luck na lang makahanap ng open restaurant in the mall at the time. So, and ngayon, like what happened with Gio, ano yun, late na nga, tapos mukhang bumabagyo pa, tapos ang traffic, tapos, yeah, as to how the league can fix it, ano ba, siguro yung mga, I'm not sure on the technicalities of the tickets. I guess the others can shine more light or offer yung opinion nila, pero ideally sana it can start on time. Lalo na naman if um, like in between yung mga games yung sa tickets nila like kung say correct me if I'm wrong, the 4:30 and the 6:30 schedules share the same ticket, no, at least for yung regular season.
Yeah.
And,
Except unless big games. Yeah, correct. Yeah.
unless big games. So I mean, you already separated yung mga big games to have their own schedule. Bakit? Ewan ko. I'm just a lowly viewer of the UAAP. Sino ba naman ako to to decide? Pero I'm guessing more knowledgeable minds, more guys with wisdom, lalo na kayo, if you can share your thoughts on that.
Yeah. Let's see, you can see Gio. Gio, what are your thoughts? Are there any solutions to this?
Actually, I kind of like it. Like,
Yeah.
and I say this with having watched the UAP for several years now, because to our points, right? Like, when was the last time a 4 o'clock game actually started at 4? They
Yeah,
usually
true.
started at 5, five
5.
thirty. In fact, right? Because for whatever reason, and it kind of, and I think as somebody that likes my schedule a little bit more predictable. If I watch a UAAP game on a Saturday, my entire afternoon and evening is gone. And now that it's at 6:30, I basically have my whole afternoon.
Yeah.
I have it back, which is like a small thing for me, and I'm kind of glad. I kind of like it a little bit more. But I've also have noticed this, even though it is not starting on time, it's still starting more on time than 4 o'clock in games.
Mm.
Kasi nung 4 o'clock in games, mga 5, 5:15, 5:30 nagsisimula pa minsan eh. In this case, like kanina, the game started at 6:40. I was so surprised that at 6 o'clock, MOA was empty. Like at 6 o'clock, MOA was empty. I know it was empty because I was inside the loan. Nakakain ako mag-isa eh. Pero suddenly, people started coming in at around 6:40, 6:45, 6:50. I think the game started. And that really surprised me in a good way. And I think that it's a good experiment for them to have. The only problem lang now is the traffic, but that's probably out of the UAP's control. But having time back for myself and also being a little bit more on time is a plus for me.
Yeah, I think it's also a matter of, you're a good point. The games do start early and we're at 4 o'clock. But maybe it's a matter of managing those earlier games. Make sure there's more buffer in the morning. Put them in a different venue if you have to. I know there are logistical issues there. Also, maybe be more transparent with time the game actually starts. That might be a big help. That might temper people's expectations. Brian, how about you? What are your thoughts on the solution on these?
Yun nga, nabanggit ni Gio kanina yung buffer time, ikaw din, about the UAP since we've been watching it 2 hours yung, diba, usual schedule, like 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock before, and then now 4:30, 6:30. But realistically, I think the buffer time should be 2.5, 2.5
Yeah.
hours. So let's say there's a game scheduled at 2 o'clock. Realistically, pag alam mo nag-start siya ng 2 o'clock, 4:30 naman sa start yung next game eh. From before. Usually ganun. 4:30 is generous. Minsan it pushes back ng as to 5 pag separate tickets. Like kanina, 3 hours ang ginawa na lang buffer. Pero pagka, may sila, diba? Usually, pagka separate tickets, kailangan mo magpaalis ng tao sa venue and then magpapasok ng separate set of
Yep.
people.
I-check pa yung mga CR kung may nagtatago. Doon, diba? Ganun.
pwede. I think a few of us have thought of that na before. Anyway, yun, parang tingin ko kanina, a 3.5 hour buffer or maybe a 4 hour buffer pa nga would have been sufficient. Parang talagang saktong 6:30 nag-start yung game kanina. I think that could have been something the UAP could look at. Let's say wala naman ibang gumamit ng venue before the UST Adamson game. I know there was a concert last night in the same venue. So that may have slowed things down. Pero parang what was the extra hour that you could have saved? Something like that. I think in the future, UAP may also have to coordinate with MOA or Araneta or anywhere else. And I think ito yung makikita nating potential with the UAP venue we touched on in a few episodes back. What could happen if gawa ng UAP venue and then may separate game na big game, let's say Lasal Ateneo, Lasal UP, Lasal UST, or whatever is big draw at that time. Kung may dikit siyang game, maybe the telecast can have two venues. So pag natapos yung game, people have already settled dun sa venue ng big game. And then it can start like what happens pag NBA, di ba? Minsan pag NBA double headers, as most of us are familiar with. Pag natapos na yung game, let's say in the East Coast, maybe, minsan nga, nag-start na yung game sa West Coast kahit hindi pa tapos yung game sa East Coast because they really have
Join in
to
progress.
step off. Yeah, exactly. So that's also something that we may see happen. Malalaman lang natin once the logistics are there, are set. But yeah, yun. If they are really if they are really focused on looking at this as an issue to fix, then yan yung nakita
Yeah.
kong logical way to look at it.
Yeah, the primetime games are definitely a good move. I think everyone likes them. Get more people to watch the game, more eyeballs on the game. But I guess as you do that, there will be more work to be on the planning execution side to make sure it's a better experience for the viewers, for the people who go to games. Okay, that's it for the Ateneo game. It was a great win. We're 3-0. Quickly, Willie, we play UE next Sunday.
Yes.
Are you worried? It's a trap game. We're all high in the Ateneo game. We might lose focus and because we know UE is one of it's tied at the bottom with Ateneo. You think this is where you're overlooking UE if there's a one way we're gonna lose to UE, that's it. It'll be overconfidence.
Siguro ako looking at our team, I'm guessing looking at the team naman no. Even at those times where we think we're going to lose, they somehow find a way to get through it and win. So, just looking on yung past performance natin, I'm at least a little bit more confident in this team compared to how they were last year during that UE game. I think if it was our team now transported last year, we would definitely win that game. Pero it's still UE. It's still the same coaching staff, and I would like to and at the back of my head the same suspicions yung kutob ko, it's still there. It's like for some reason when they're playing others they play like shit, but then pag Lasal na naman bigla na lang they become better shit.
Nagiging Golden State Warriors ba sila? Nagiging Golden State Warriors.
Golden State Warriors, hindi na UE Warriors.
May bigla na lang sila lahat naging remogat eh.
Uy, baka napipisil ka. Baka napipisil ka ng
napipisil.
Ay. Tingnan mo nga Gcash mo, Remogat.
Ayun, napipisil ng ano. Alright. Brian, Gio, quick thoughts about the UE game before we end?
UE, I think maganda lang na 1 week yung buffer natin for this game. Kasi I think the last time we beat Ateneo and then faced UE right away was nung time nung Derek. Season 84, was it? We beat Ateneo.
So we won against Ateneo. All for throwaway versus UE.
Then natalo tayo na si Remogat na ba yun? Hindi ko maalala kung siya na yun or someone else. Kasi I think I was back in basta gano'n, na sila tayo.
We erased that from our memories, Brian, so it's okay.
Exactly. Sa akin din, blur lang siya. Ang alam ko lang, ayoko lang kalaban UE. Pero yun yung time na I think we were too confident because it was a big result. Ateneo were winning then. But I think the attitude of the team now is they're grounded. They will still reflect on what they can improve on. For us to win by 13, committing 22 turnovers, committing 26 fouls. You know that if you have those numbers against tougher opposition this season,
It'll be
He
tougher.
might
Yeah.
even lose the game, di ba? He might even lose
Yeah.
the game. If we had those numbers against NU, we would have lost by maybe 5 or more. Tipong ganun. So that's something we should really polish. And I think that's the good thing about it. It's not a win na people will say 100% convincing. People will have doubts about how we eventually let a 20-point lead go down to 13. Tipong ganyan. And that's good for us because that means it will leave everyone hungrier as the game approaches, and then we will peak at the right time, we hope.
All right. Gio, quickly, any concerns about that UE game a week from now?
I don't think there are any easy games in the UAAP, contrary to popular opinion. And we still need to be in that.
Unless it's Ateneo versus FEU. Yun lang.
Yeah.
Ayun.
I mean, there's no easy games in the UAAP. I just watched the Ateneo Lasal game earlier today. But in all seriousness, right? Like, I've been watching the UAP for several years. There was back then, medyo yung NU lang talaga yung sure win eh. Back then, pre-SM.
Back then.
Yeah,
Pre-SM.
but the rest, like nowadays, it's all 8 teams, and UE is gonna be a tough one to crack still. Like if we're not in our A game, if we decide that this is barangay ball, and if we
Let them
decide
hang
that
around, yeah.
hang around and chill lang tayo and not play to our potential, we might lose this game. And there just needs to be like some level of focus, and maybe start playing for more than one quarter.
Maybe. Try 2 quarters, then we'll go from there, di ba? Oh.
Like 2 quarters, maybe the next 2 games 2 quarters, then against UST 3 quarters. Kasi
Then
once we need to play all 4 already.
Or against UP, we should be ready, di ba?
Oh yeah. So work ourselves up.
Gio, you mentioned NU lang yung sure nung before SM. I would counter that even before ang UP, BC, before Cavite. Sure win yan ang lahat. UP, BC, before Cavite.
Bro, I was gonna say that. I was gonna say that. But remember when Mikey Reyes torched us in 2010, 11? There was this one game where
I
they
deleted
scored
that
like,
from my core memory.
yeah, basta it was Mikey Reyes versus Joel Tolentino and Marata. Eh. Like it's somewhere in my memory na he torched us. It was his one great game for you.
Yeah. There was the time for BC before Cavite, and meron tayong AD. After Dindo, we struggled after then. Diba? So, mga tayo. But, yeah. Good point. Dati, UP would come for the halftime, then they'd leave. Diba? That's how they used to go back in the day, diba? Cheer dance was their UAP finals. Diba? So, that's it. Just let you know, we have a big win against the men's basketball. Unfortunately, we lost in the juniors to Ateneo. It's a big representation. We lost to the women in the women's basketball. Also to Ateneo. As a result of those 2 wins in the juniors and women's basketball, the weather changed, humangin, bumagyo, and na-cancel yung men's football versus Ateneo later in the evening. So, fault rin nila yun. Diba? Yung hangin. Yeah. Kaya rin na-traffic si Gio. So, yun talaga.
Force of nature talaga. Diba?
Force of nature. Diba? Alright. So, Gio, Willie, Brian, thank you for joining. I know it's late, but I know you're celebrating. Thanks for joining tonight. Big win versus Ateneo. Everyone, thanks for listening. Follow us on the Quiver Podcast, powered by Blue Fire, the only blue that's right for you. Follow us. We're on YouTube. Watch our videos there and Spotify. Follow all our social media pages as well. So, to the next game, let's enjoy this one for a week. Enjoy. Ingat, Willie. Manapit ka sa Katipunan, di ba? So, just careful. Ingat dyan sa mga, kabahain ka. Kahit na yung mga gamit mo. Alright?
Baka titirahin ako.
Oo.
Ay.
Alright. It's getting late. Okay. This is the Cover Podcast. As I say, we beat Ateneo.
Animo.
Lasal.
Hi, guys.
Talo Ateneo.
If I were to live my whole life again, I'd still want to be a lasalista pa rin. Bayaran man ako, I will still say to you, I'd rather be green than be